and you can just tell her, right? We'll catch her in a little bit. I didn't want to take the time to do this last night, so first of all, before I forget, do I have a couple ladies willing to pass out some handouts for me? Would some of you girls mind doing that? Mind? You mind? Thank you. She's like, yes, I mind, but I will do it. Anybody else mind doing it for me? Thank you. Anybody? Would you mind? Thank you so much. You get a handout. You get a handout. Here you go. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you. I know I'm an absolute nudge with the handouts, but I always feel like if you got something to take home with you, you'll remember maybe what's going on. And I didn't want to take the time to do this last night, so I'm going to do it now quickly. I do have a book table in the back, and I'm just going to mention a couple of things. I am from a broken home, and so I grew up, I was always a avid reader, and when my home split, I went to the library to try and find something to help me, and I couldn't find anything. I found one book written by two girls who were in their early 20s, and they were friends, and both sets of their parents had divorced, and they wrote a book on how to get revenge on your parents. And that appealed to me for a little bit. And then I realized that's not going to help me very much. I'm already angry enough. That's not going to help me. And I realized, did we run out of who still needs a handout? Does everybody have one? Okay, there's a couple of extras up here. All right, good. Very good. And so I realized there's nothing really to help Christian young people. And I took a class in college called Special Teaching Methods. And there was a guy in my class. There she is. Ready? Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Mary. There you go. Happy birthday to you. Wasn't sure if we were going with the God bless you or the Meredith, so I was waiting it out. Happy birthday. That's awesome. And does anybody else have a birthday today? Nobody? Just want, you're so special today. So I quickly figured out there's nothing for girls like me, and I was in Special Teaching Methods. That's where I was. And there was a young man in the class that I'd had a couple of dates with. And anyway, I had to give my testimony in this class about why I believe in the Christian home. And so I had to stand up there and talk about why I still believed in it, even though mine was broken. And we were walking out of class, and that 6'5", tall, dark-haired young man that eventually became my husband said to me, one day you're going to write a book. You're going to write a book to help people. And that became this book. And it started out about this thick. And then I realized, you know what? Nobody needs the gory details, right? And so I whittled it down to this is what's going to help. This is what I could hand personally to a young person and say, this will help you. This will point you to the Lord. You don't need a humanistic philosophy of how to recover. You need to be plugged into God, and this will help you. I recently got an email from an 83-year-old man that got my book at a men's conference. I don't even know how it was there. And I was like, well, praise the Lord. But he said, my parents divorced when I was in my 20s, and I feel like I never got over it. And it affected every relationship I had in my adult life. And I wish I'd had this book when I was young, but I'm glad I have it now. And I thought, wow, praise the Lord. Anyway, that's back there. Our son wrote a book based on a message he preached about the life of Joseph. How did Joseph know to forgive his brothers? How was that in him? He was in Egypt. He was sold by those brothers into slavery. He should have been full of hate and bitterness and revenge, and yet he forgave them. And frankly, I wish I had discovered this first, because it was right in there the whole time. That book is $5. My book is $15. Our family has a music CD. Those are 2 for $25. And then my husband has written some Sunday school curriculum that we have used since the start of our church. If you have questions, I can explain it to you. You can see it at thevasaks.com Once it is yours, it is fully editable. You put your church name on it or your class name on it or whatever you want to do. There's 6 pages per lesson, activity pages for kids, handouts for adults and teens, all that good stuff. All right. I usually give something out to the person that has the closest birthday. So Meredith, do you have this book? Okay, happy birthday. Here we go. Do I have some? Lauren, would you mind taking that back to her? Thank you so much. All right. Today, we're going to talk about something that, frankly, it's going to be a little tense. It's going to be a little difficult, but it's very needed. And the more I talk about it, the more I see how needed it is. And as women, this is probably the main thing that keeps us from being still, especially as we age a little bit. Now, right away, I know some of you younger women are going, okay, I'm checking out of this one. No, please let me be your big sister right now. Let me help you. I'm going to help you. I'm going to give you something that later on the wheels will start turning and you'll say, oh, this is what she was talking about. When you're a little girl, and I'm going to be delicate, there's not a lot of young girls in here, but I'll be tactful. When you're young, and I know this is not the case for everybody, and certainly as more and more time goes on, it is even less the case for people. But usually, when you're a little girl, your good mom will walk you through what's going to come your way, right? Usually you have a good mom or grandma that cares about you, and they start to walk you through some of the things that's going to happen in life to you. And then you get to be in your teenage years, and usually, again, it's your mom you can go to and ask questions, or maybe it's a big sister, maybe it's an aunt, but usually you have somebody in your life that will help you navigate what's happening. And then when you get old enough and you start seriously dating, you get engaged, usually, again, it's your good mom who tries to prep you for what's coming. And although my youngest daughter said to me recently, Mom, why didn't you tell me that marriage was making sure everybody has something clean to wear and something to eat every day till you die? And I said, I think I did say that actually, but told ya. Anyway, girls, if you're not married yet, that's what it is, okay? You make sure everybody is clean and fed, and then you die. I always tell my husband, when everything dies down, I'll get to that project, I'll get to that. He said, I'm going to put that on your tombstone. When everything died down, so did she. But usually your good mom will walk you through those things, right? And then, you find yourself, maybe you're going to have a baby, and good night. Nobody gets prepped more than a first-time mom. And I do not understand why we do this to them, but we'll give them the loveliest baby shower, and then we'll start telling them the horrors of what it's going to be like. Oh, you think that's bad? I was in labor for 477 hours. You beat me. Okay. She's going to know, okay? It's bad. It's all bad for everybody. And I love those women who try to portray, I didn't take an ounce of anything. I was like, well, I walked in the hospital like, shoot me in the forehead. I don't want to feel this. I want to feel as little as possible. I want to get the baby here safely. Other than that, I don't want to feel it. And but anyway, I would have taken a shot in my forehead. I wasn't anybody's hero. But something happens after that, and women stop talking to each other. And we stop checking in with each other. We stop reaching behind to those ones coming up and saying, how are you? Are you okay? How's life? How are things? How's your health? How are you feeling? How are you mentally? How are you emotionally? How are you spiritually? We just stop talking. And women get to a place where they feel very alone, very isolated, and it is tough to navigate. And again, I will be tactful, but I was in full-blown menopause before I heard the word perimenopause. And I was like, what? What is this? I thought that happened to people like in their 60s and 70s. I saw these ladies in choir, and they're, and I remember sitting there going, you know what? I am cold all the time. Can I please have a hot flash? Can I please? Because I'm so cold. If I could just be warm. That's really what I thought it was. And I thought, why, now my mom went to heaven in 2018, so she's off the hook. 2017, she's off the hook. But I thought, why did nobody tell me about this? Why do I not know what's happening? And I want to tell some of you ladies, we're going to delve a little bit here today, okay? We're going to get real personal. Some of you are going to file this away for later. Some of you are going to have some light bulbs go on. And you're going to say, oh, really? And I had no idea. And I think a lot of Christian women are like me. You're just chugging away at life till all of a sudden the wheels stop chugging. And you go, what is going on? This is not me. This is not who I am. Menopause is Satan's last-ditch effort to get a woman off track. Have you ever seen a woman in her 80s say, you know what? I have lived this whole life with the Lord, and now I've just reached the point in life where I realize it was all a crock. I am going to go do my own thing, and I've just realized that God is not all he's cracked up to be. I've never seen that. Have you? No. Why? Because once a woman reaches that age and that experience with the Lord, she's solid. But my husband and I have had now 6 couple friends who have been married just as long as we have, and now their homes have blown apart. And I used to think, people stay together for their kids, and then when their kids are grown and gone, then it's like they don't want to do the work anymore. But I don't think that's all there is to it. I think Satan gets the woman off track because it's prime. It's a prime time in her life. Brother Justin, would you bring up that first picture? In 2018, and I don't know what time I'm supposed to finish this session, so I'm going to try to get through it. And if somebody could let me know, I don't even see. Okay. Just start waving at me when it's time to wrap it up. How about that? Be about 3 p.m. I'm just kidding. So in 2018, we were on a trip with our whole family to Arizona. My father-in-law turned 80. And the year before, he had sort of casually mentioned to me, I've never been west of the Mississippi. And I said, Dad, we're fixing that. You gotta live, man. And so our whole family took him out there. It was so fun. But while my family, my husband, my children, and we decided to drive because we wanted to go to Waco first. And we wanted to see Joanna Gaines, all that stuff. And so we decided to drive. And, oh, my goodness, that was rough. But we drove, and the rest of everybody flew. And I was driving through Texas. And I got a phone call, and it was my neighbor screaming her head off. She said, Amy, are you okay? And I said, yeah, I'm okay. How are you? And she said, I'm not good. She said, your house is leveled. And I said, what? And then my kid's phone started pinging with notifications. We had a macro burst of tornadoes come through our town, and that's part of the damage it did. It took out both of our cars. They were totaled in the driveway. And our neighbors thought when they couldn't get us to answer at our house, they couldn't get in our house, but they couldn't get us to answer, so they thought we were dead in our cars. They thought we had pulled in the driveway and then waited it out, and they thought we were dead in our cars. We were not there, but our daughter's bedroom is that one on the corner that was damaged, and so much debris came in. She's a reader, so she would have been on her bed reading that day if we'd been home, and she probably would have been seriously injured at the very least. But so I praise the Lord we weren't home. But you can go to the next picture. Just some more damage that was done by this. We couldn't get into our neighborhood. We had no power for 9 days. You can go to the next one. more damage in the backyard. Or no, that's still the front yard. Just amazing how many trees were down. You can go to the next one. So that's our daughter standing next to the base of that tree that you saw covering both the cars. Okay. So in the spring of that year, my husband had 4 different tree companies come to give us an estimate of what it would be. You know where I'm going? To give us an estimate of what trees needed to be removed and how much it would cost. And he had a suspicion about a couple of them. And all 4 companies looked at that tree and said, that one will never come down. You don't have to worry about that one. And what's interesting about that base of that tree is you can see when you look around the big part there, those roots are so short, right? That tree was so tall that it fell the whole length of our house and then into the next street, the side street. It was a long tree, huge, took down all the power lines. And we were like, oh my goodness, if only they could have seen that underneath the ground, they would have known that tree is probably the most unstable one in the yard. And this is what happens to women who get a few years on them that have not grown in the Lord and have not established huge roots, healthy roots, lengthy roots, and they begin to feel the winds of trouble and age and family and health come their way. And it's not long before it is revealed those roots were not very deep. And I don't want that to happen to a single lady in here. And so we're going to talk about navigating womanhood for a little bit this morning. I don't want you to be a tree that falls over and takes people out. I don't want this to be Satan's last-ditch successful effort in your life. I want you to overcome. And you younger women, let me show you something, okay? How many of you are in your 20s and you are maybe getting started with your career, or you got married, but life is just sort of starting to get going for you? Raise your hand if you're in that category. Okay, that's a few. How many of you are in your 30s and 40s and you are like, life is rolling, like you're in it. You've got family, or you've got your job, but you're kind of rolling, things are going well in life. Okay, that's the majority. How many of you are like me, 50 and over, and you're happy you haven't killed somebody yet? Did you hear that laugh? Yeah, like, yeah. It's like jail, homicide. I'll take jail for $300, Alex. I mean, it's amazing what happens to your thinking, your person. Every last one of you is going to get there. Even you. You may not get it to, as bad a degree as somebody else, but it comes to everyone. And honestly, I don't know why we're not talking about it. Because this is the greatest time of your life. Well, you will fight the hardest to just be still and let God have control. You have a verse there at the top of your handout. It's Hebrews 4:16. Can we read that out loud together? Ready? Let us therefore come boldly unto the throne of grace, that we may obtain mercy and find grace to help in time of need. Let's have a word of prayer. Dear Heavenly Father, Lord, you know this subject is so near to my heart. I have such a burden that women be prepared, and that if they're in it, they get through it and come out on the other side victorious. And I thank you for your love. Thank you for guiding us through every area of life. Thank you for being a God that we can turn to, and you're going to know how to help us. When men don't, when people don't, you do. Thank you for your love, and we love you. In your name we pray. Amen. I'm going to ask for 7 volunteers. Who would be willing to read a verse very loud when I got to your turn? Okay, lady there in the back is one. Would you read Romans 5, 3 through 5? Next one, right here in the pink. Would you read 2 Timothy 2:24? Right over here, Kara. Would you read 2 Corinthians 10, 4 and 5? And then do I have another one? Right here. Would you read 1 Peter 3, 10 through 12? Do I have another one? 1 Peter 5, 7. One more I need. Who? Right over here. Proverbs 21, 19. Okay, that's going to help us. Oh, I do have one more. Do I have one more right here in the blue? Romans 8, 26. All right. So once we have that done, you can find those and I will call on you. Number 1, how are you going to get through this navigating womanhood? Embrace your station. Embrace it. Your station is the place or position where you are designed to remain. You're not going to get out of this life without some change. No one does. You have to embrace it. If you fight it, if you constantly fight it, you're going to be miserable, and you're going to accuse everybody else of making you feel like you're crazy. I will tell you, the first time I knew that I had some problem, I didn't know what was happening, but it was February of 2020, which was a great year all the way around, right? And I remember that so my husband had an amputation in 2019, and he was still having some nights where he'd have to sleep in the recliner, keep his leg elevated. And so this one night, I was upstairs, and I just could not sleep. I was feeling so miserable, and I just thought, I need to just go lay down in the coolest spot I can find. And so I laid down on the bathroom floor, and I was trying to get some relief. And then it just got so bad. It was like, have you ever had a power surge come in your house and your appliances explode? Have you ever had your TV explode or whatever? That's what I felt like. This is a power surge, and I'm just going to spontaneously combust. And I remember laying there going, well, God, this was a good run. Thank you for the life you gave me. And I seriously, I had my phone on my hand going, I think I should call an ambulance. And then I thought, but what's Joe going to do? I don't know. I don't know what to do. Maybe I should wait a little more. And then, God, let him know how much I loved him. And I just could not get relief. And I was about an hour on that bathroom floor, just wrestling with what to do. Finally, I started to feel a little bit better. It was subsiding. And so I went on WebMD, and it said, hot flash. No, that's not a hot flash. This is a hot flash. I was like, that was a hot flash? I thought I was going to die. I could not believe it. And, I was not prepared. And I was still sort of reeling from that. A couple of weeks later, this is before the shutdown, we were having choir practice at church. And I got reprimanded in choir practice. I was talking. I felt like I was in 2nd grade. And I remember looking up at the director, who will remain nameless to protect the innocent. And I said in my mind, do you know who you're talking to? You think any of this happens without me? Who do you think you are? And immediately I caught myself and I thought, okay, what was that? That's not you. And then I went right back to, you're going to pay for that. And the battle in my mind was so back and forth that I thought, I got to get out of here. I'm going to say something. I can't stifle. And so I did clam up. And so I did what do you guys use that word, stifle? You know what that means? Yeah, okay. Do you know, so I did what I only, what I could think of to do. I faked a cough, and I exited stage left. And I went down to my husband's office, and I said, I think I have a problem. I don't know what's happening, but I'm not me right now, and I really just want to go home. And he said, don't go home, just, stay, we'll talk after church. And then I started having more and more thoughts like, either I'm crazy or everybody else is. There's no happy medium. It's either me or all of them. And I felt very isolated, very alone. And I want to tell you, in all seriousness, if that's you today, you're not alone. You're not the only one feeling these things, thinking these things. Menopause can hit you in your 30s. Perimenopause. It can hit you in your 30s. We're going to go over a list of symptoms in a little bit. But you don't even know. You just don't feel like you. And I'm telling you right now, that's the beginnings. There is no blood test that they can give you to say you are in perimenopause. They would have to test your blood every day for a year to try to begin to get an accurate reading of your levels. There is no test they can give you. They treat you based on symptoms. And that's why you would say to a doctor like my friend did, I think I'm having a heart attack. And my friend went to the ER 4 different times. I think I'm having a heart attack. And no, it's just menopause. But I've had other friends been sent to a cardiologist. Well, let's see. Maybe you have a heart problem. Maybe you that frozen shoulder, which is a real thing, that frozen shoulder you've got, maybe you need surgery. They will treat symptoms and not your whole being because they don't know. Who's got Romans 5, 3 through 5? Could you read it really loud, please? Tribulations lead to patience, patience leads to hope, and hope makes you not do anything that's going to bring shame to yourself. But you have to be plugged into God or you will not make it during this time. Now, what I'm going to tell you right now is just me, okay? I do not sit in judgment for any other lady who's made another choice. But I said to my husband, I don't want to drug myself through this. If God designed it, first of all, none of this would have happened without Eve. You know what I'm saying? And when we get to heaven, I want to meet, my mom and Jesus and the Apostle John and Rahab. I love Rahab. And then I'm finding Eve, and I'm going to say, girl, let's just talk a minute, okay? And by talk, I mean with my fist. Why? But it's all due to her, okay? I'm just kidding, sort of. But you have to embrace it, and if God created this, He knows how to get you through it. We do not turn to the Lord during this time because we think He knows nothing of feminine things. He knows everything about feminine things. You wouldn't have the body you have if God did not know everything about feminine things. So turn to Him, talk to Him. Number 2, be mindful of yourself, your people, and your purpose. Who's got 2 Timothy 2:24? Could you read that really loud, please?
And the servant of the Lord must not strive, but be gentle unto all men, apt to teach patience.
Be gentle unto all men. This will be the hardest time in your life to exhibit gentleness because you just want to plow your way through everybody and everything. But take your temperature in every situation. Okay? Is this something that really needs to be dealt with? If not, I'm going to give you a 2-word phrase that's a military term that I say to myself on the daily, multiple times a day. Stand down. I've never been in the military, but I have a friend who is an Air Force pilot, and she taught me that term years ago, and I have used it. Yes, ma'am. Yourself, your people, and your purpose. Those are your blanks. Be mindful of yourself, your people, your purpose. Take your temperature and watch how it plays out in every scenario. If you're not feeling like you, stand down. If you don't have any bearing over the situation, stand down. You don't have to fix the world's problems. You don't have to be a keyboard warrior correcting everybody on social media. You can let them do. I have seen women, grown women, feel it is their calling from the Lord to correct everyone. Let them be. You're not going to fix it. Let them do it. Let them do it. They're going to do it. Let them go. Let them do their thing. Take your temperature. Why am I feeling so hot about this? And then stand down. Take your own temperature. Number 3, deal with your issues. Deal with your issues. 2 Corinthians 10, 4 and 5. Who's got that one? Yes.
For the weapons of our warfare are not carnal, but mighty through God to the pulling down of strongholds, casting down imaginations and every high thing that exalteth itself against the knowledge of God, and bringing into captivity every thought to the obedience of Christ.
Imaginations are things that we accuse God of and other people. High things are areas in which we elevate ourselves above God and other people. And you might say, oh, I would never. Oh, really? You've never said to the Lord, why'd you allow that? Why? What? What is going on here? Those are high things. And we've got to cast those down. The very first phrase is the key to that whole passage. For the weapons of our warfare are not carnal. Most Christian women today are living so in the flesh. And this is why we are defeated. We are taken down by our flesh. We do not know how to conquer it. And I'll be the first to tell you, 8 o'clock comes at night. I mean, I used to be a night owl and a morning person. I was going all the time. Now 8 o'clock comes and I'm like, hun, you got a drink, you got this, you got everything you need? Okay, because once I sit down, not getting back up. I don't care what's not done. I mean, I used to be that person. No dishes left in the sink. No laundry left in the dryer. I will not go to bed till it's all done. Now I'm like, psh, who cares? It's the two of us. Nobody's going to see it. Who cares? I cannot will myself. I'm being very honest. Who knows what I'm talking about? Thank you. I did not know that was a thing. And I'm sitting there, and I remember crying one night, saying to my husband, what's wrong with me? Am I dying? Because this is not who I am, but I can't get up. I have no motivation to get up and do whatever it is. So I've had to restructure my schedule. I start earlier. And then I go to bed earlier. I don't push myself over the limits anymore because I can't. Right now, I can't. Maybe someday I can again. Right now, just, if it's not done, oh well. Oh well. And I don't like that, but it's just where it is right now. But you have to figure out ways to still do what you've got to do. You still have to function, and you have to figure out ways to do that. Deal with your issues, whatever your issues are. Family issues, personal issues, sin issues. Sin will take you down during this time so fast. And you can't let it in your heart and in your life. Number 4, don't justify bad behavior. Who's got 1 Peter 3, 10 through 12? Right here.
For he that will love life and see good days, let him refrain his tongue from evil, and his lips that they speak no guile. Let him eschew evil and do good. Let him seek peace and ensue it. For the eyes of the Lord are over the righteous, and his ears are open unto their prayers. But the face of the Lord is against them that do evil.
Yeah, so we teach our children, right? Oh, be careful, little mouth, what you say. And then we get to a certain age and we're like, chuck that, I'm going to say this. God's watching. God is still watching when you're 55. And I've had to remind myself, just because I feel like junk, that does not justify me saying whatever I want to say. And nobody's got to take it. You know, you tend to be at this age where you go, I've earned the right to say, no, you haven't. No, you haven't. You've earned the right to take everything to God. You don't have the right to blast anybody. Now, I'm going to address this quickly. I know that, you know, the more time goes on and the worse society gets, we have a lot of strained relationships between adult children and their parents. It breaks my heart because, you know, I'm Gen X. So, you know, we always joke about, you know, we were latchkey kids. We raised ourselves, and I did not raise myself. My mom raised me. But, you know, it was like stay outside till the lights come on kind of thing. And we worked through stuff, and we ignored a lot of stuff because we loved that person. I even have a good relationship with my dad today because I want it, and it's good for me, and I wanted him to be a good grandpa to my kids. We're living in a place now where you do one thing, you're out. If I ask for a show of hands right now, how many of you have been cut off from someone, just about every hand would go up. And this is at pandemic proportions. And I'm sorry about that. If that is your case, you raised children the best of you, not perfect, because nobody does it perfectly, but you did your best and you loved them and you fed them and you provided for them and all of those things, and now they won't talk to you. I am so sorry. But we also need to check ourselves and say, have I taken liberties where there were no liberties? Have I said things? Have I done things? Make your apologies and don't justify bad behavior. Number 5, have compassion. Have compassion on yourself. Who's got 1 Peter 5:7? 1 Peter 5:7? Go ahead. You cast all your care upon him, for he cares for you. We are so good at applying that verse to other people. Jesus cares for you. You're going through a tough time. He cares for you. He loves you. And then we'll get home and we'll sit down and we'll say, nobody gives a care about what's happening to me. Nobody understands. I'm completely alone in this. No, you tell yourself for you that you need to cast your care on him, for he cares for you. We're going to finish quickly here. Extend mercy to yourself like you would to a friend. Number 6, keep your relationships strong. Keep them strong. I remember one day saying to my husband, I'm trying so hard, but I just hate everybody. I just hate everybody. I don't even know how to deal. Just, ugh. And again, jail, homicide. It's like, I don't look that great in orange, so I don't know. Who's got Proverbs 21:19? Great. Can you read that, please?
It is better to dwell in the wilderness than with a contentious and an angry woman.
Ooh, better to dwell in the wilderness than with a contentious and angry woman. That speaks for itself, doesn't it? Lastly, number 7, let God's mercy carry you. Who's got Romans 8:26? Yes.
Likewise, the Spirit also helpeth our infirmities, for we know not what we should pray for as we ought. But the Spirit itself maketh intercession for us with groanings which cannot be uttered.
Is there more of a time in your life where you have groanings which cannot be uttered? I mean, I can't tell you how many times I pray now and I just say, God, I can't even get anything out. I don't even know what to say. I'm on edge. I'm on fire. I don't even know how to get through the day. And God takes that and says, let me help you walk through this. You know, Job's wife gets a bad rap, and she did make a really big blunder. But do you realize that she lost all of her grown children in one day, and she was menopausal? And I mean, she was at the age in life where she was menopausal, and she said that. And I mean, yeah, she shouldn't have said it, but man, I've been there. Where I want so badly to just drop a bomb. But you know what? God helped that lady get restored. You know how I know that? Because he gave her 10 more children. 10 more. And I think when we get to heaven, we're going to say, Mrs. Job, you got a story to tell too. We want to hear the rest of it. We know what you said. Wasn't good. But tell us how he got you back, how he got you right. I'm going to read through a quick list of symptoms, and then we're going to wrap this up, all right? Think about yourself. What have you experienced? Menopause can last anywhere from 7 to 20 years. And even when you think you're done, guess what the rest of your life you are categorized as? Post-menopausal. It doesn't mean menopause is finished. It means you can still have symptoms, though you're not in the thick of it anymore. Okay? Headaches, migraines, extreme or unexplained fatigue, heart palpitations, may feel like a heart attack, hot flashes, not cute. They feel like an internal power grid explosion, night sweats, joint pain, primarily shoulder and hip, but other joints may be painful as well. Foot pain. I had a point where I got out of bed in the morning and tears just instantly came to my eyes. It felt like my feet were splitting in two. Tooth pain, dental issues, cycle changes or missed ones, sleep issues, insomnia, weight gain, or as I like to call it, redistribution of pounds, brain fog, forgetfulness, impaired short-term memory, inability to focus, lack of concentration, inability to remember names, anxiety. We were talking about anxiety last night. Anxiety is a huge symptom. A general feeling of I'm not myself or am I crazy? Impatience, irritability, low energy, no motivation, mood swings, tearfulness, not wanting to be touched at all in any way. UTIs, incontinence, dry or brittle hair, skin, or nails. That is not an exhaustive list, but just to give you some guidelines. I'll tell you this quick story, we're all done. I was a young pastor's wife, about 25, and a lady and her family that had started coming to our church, all of a sudden, the lady started writing separately from her family, and she would come in the back of church and sit by the back door. She would pull a chair by the back door. And as soon as the invitation started, she was out. Now, I judged that woman so harshly because I was young. And I said to my husband, she is so unspiritual right now. What is going on? And that family stayed together, but it was rough. And now it hit me, oh my goodness. Her kids were older teens, early 20s. She was struggling with menopause. And I was so ashamed that I had judged her like I did. And if I had it to do over again, you know what I'd do? I'd pull a chair back there, and I would sit by her and say, you're not alone. You're not alone. You're not going through this by yourself. And I don't know much about it yet, but I'm going to get through this with you. And let me tell you, if I could pull a chair up to each one of you that feels like you may be having something where you're just not yourself, I would sit by you and tell this to you. You're not alone. You're not crazy. You're going to get through it, but you have to have God's help. Do not turn away from him during this time. You need him more than ever. He made the situation. He knows how to help you get through it, and he will. Thank you.